Good evening friends, myself Sumati. Welcome to my channel Edutainment. Friends, today I am going to share with you two approaches that is collaborative learning and cooperative learning, and I have already discussed with you previously self-learning and peer learning, and these two are collaborative and cooperative learning are also constructivist approach. So friends, before going to start, I would like to say you that it is a lengthy topic and purely theoretical, so please keep patient and watch this video, and when you will find the difference between those collaborative and cooperative learning, then it will be clear for you and you will get a clear idea regarding this concept. So let's see. Collaborative learning is a situation in which two or more people learn or attempt to learn something together. Unlike individual learning, people engaged in collaborative learning capitalize on one another's resources and skills, asking one another for information, evaluating one another's ideas, monitoring one another's work, etc. More specifically, collaborative learning is based on the model that knowledge can be created within a population where members actively interact by sharing experiences and take on asymmetric roles. So friends, collaborative learning is a situation where two or more people will learn together. Means in self-learning it was like only one, maybe you can in peer learning say that you can make group, but individual learning is there. In collaborative learning, two or more people will sit together and will learn something together. We can say that group activities. So here what happens? Here people engaged in collaborative learning to means asking one another for any information or any question, evaluate or giving their feedback to others' work or reflection, or monitor their others on another works, etc. Put differently, collaborative learning refers to methodologies and environments in which learners engage in a common task where each individual depends on and is accountable to each other. These include both face-to-face conversations and computer discussions. That means it may be online forums or face-to-face chat form. Methods for examining collaborative learning process include conversation analysis and statistical discourse analysis. What happens here in collaborative learning, it is like we can say that here people are engaged or learners are engaged in a common task. Means teacher, here the role of teacher will be to give a common activity, to give a common problem to the group, and in group the learners will be engaged in their work, and where each individual depends on and is accountable to each other. Okay. Collaborative learning is rooted in Lev Vygotsky concept of learning called zone of proximal development. Proximal development. Friends, you already know about proximal development. So, in your education paper, collaborative learning says that its root is, or it is rooted by Vygotsky in the concept of zone of proximal development. Typically, there are tasks that learners can and cannot accomplish. Between these two areas is the zone of proximal development, which is a category of things that a learner can learn but with the help of guidance. Means proximal, according to zone of proximal development by Vygotsky, it is a category where the learner can learn but with the help of guidance. Learner can learn, we know, but with the help of guidance, means peer guidance. Collaborative learning is very important in achieving critical thinking. According to Gokhale 1995, individuals are able to achieve higher levels of learning and retain more information when they work in a group rather than individually. This applies to both the facilitators of knowledge, the instructors, and the receivers of knowledge, the students. What happens? According to Gokhale 1995, he said about individuals are able to achieve higher levels of learning, it's no doubt, but they can achieve more learning, they can retain more information in group rather than individual. It's according to Gokhale. And it is we can say that this applies to both the facilitator of knowledge, means it says that student can get knowledge, we know, individually, but if we can say if we will provide the chance to learn them in a group, then it can be better for them. So cooperative learning, I hope collaborative learning all are clear about this collaborative learning. If you any doubt, please raise question. Cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is an educational approach which aims to organize classroom activities into academic and social learning experiences. There is much more to cooperative learning than merely arranging students into groups, and it has been described as structuring positive interdependence. So students must work in groups to complete tasks collectively towards academic goals. Unlike individual learning, which can be competitive in nature, students learning cooperatively can capitalize on one another's resources and skills. Furthermore, the teacher's role changes from giving information to facilitating students' learning. Everyone succeeds when the group succeeds. According to Roche and Smith 1995, successful cooperative learning tasks as intellectually demanding, creative, open-ended and involve higher order thinking tasks. Cooperative learning has also been linked to increased levels of student satisfaction. Friends, what happens in collaborative learning, the work or activity have been done in group. But in cooperative learning, what happens? We have divided the whole class in groups, but in that groups, we have to divide the individual work. So, each individual succeed will be the reflection of the group succeed. Okay, and according to Roche and Smith 1995, they described successful cooperative learning tasks as intellectually demanding, creative, open-ended and involving higher order thinking. Because in cooperative learning, individual work is there and group work is also there. So here for a cooperative learning, 5 essential elements are identified for a successful incorporation of cooperative learning in the classroom, and those elements are positive interdependence, individual and group accountability, promotive interaction, that is face to face, teaching the students the required interpersonal and small group skills, group processing. So those are 5 elements which are more essential for making our cooperative learning approach more successful. So let's see what are those elements. Positive interdependence. Here students must fully participate and put forth effort within the group. Means in a group, suppose there will be 4 to 5 students and each students have a role to fully participate in that group, and they have to give their best. Each group member has a task, a role or responsibility as in peer learning. Therefore, most believe that they are responsible for their learning and that of their group. Means first thing is, in positive interdependence, what happens? Each student of the group or each member of the group should have give their best effort to their group. Then they have some responsibility and they have to fulfill that responsibility towards their learning. Second one is face-to-face promotive interaction. Members promote each other's success. Students explain to one another what they have or are learning and assist one another with understanding and completion of assignment. What happens here? Here suppose teacher have given a topic or common task to the students, and they have to divide those things, one concept. Suppose there will be 4 students in a group and they have to divide those concept, common task into 4 sub-concepts. And individual will work there. And after this, face-to-face co-promotive interaction says about, here each member have to promote each other's success. Suppose one will get the result, then another have to promote them, motivate them and appreciate them. Individual and group accountability. Each student must demonstrate mastery of the content being studied. Each student is accountable for their learning and work, therefore eliminating social loafing. Individual and group accountability. Here each member of the group will demonstrate mastery over the content, because without mastery over the content, any kind of work cannot be done by any student. So students have to master over their content. Social skills that must be taught in order for successful cooperative learning to occur. Skills include effective communication, interpersonal and group skills. For example, leadership, decision making, trust building, friendship development, communication, conflict management skills. So those are some skills, social skills, we can say that, which should be in a group. Because like leadership, if any group there will be no leadership character or skills, then we can't say that it is a successful group. Yes or no? Because in any kind of group need is leader, successful leader. Decision making at the time, perfect time, everyone should have the skill to make a decision. Trust building, friendship development, because without friendship development we can't share our ideas, we can't appreciate to other. Communication also, for we can say that for convince to others, for sharing our ideas, communication also important. Conflict management skills, if any conflict will happen in the group, so it is the role of each individual how to manage that conflict. So these are some social skills we should have in a group. Group processing. Group processing occurs when group members reflect on which member actions were helpful and make decision about which actions to continue or change. In group processing, what happens? First thing is reflect on which member actions were helpful. Means suppose everyone is doing own work, but in group processing, we have to reflect on which actions will be more successful or more helpful for getting the success. Second thing, we have to make decision about which actions to continue to change. Means so many results, so many actions we will get because it is a group discussion. But we have to focus on that actions or decisions which will help us to getting the success, and we will continue that. The purpose of group processing is to clarify and improve the effectiveness with which members carry out the process necessary to achieve the group's goals. Means group processing, the purpose of group processing is to clarify and improve the effectiveness with which members carry out the processes. Means whatever the processes members are carrying for necessary, which are necessary for taking their, we can say, achieve the group goals. So it is the group processing says about to clarify those and improve those. In order for student achievement to improve considerably, two characteristics must be present. When designing cooperative learning tasks and reward structures, individual responsibility and accountability must be identified. It's very important because in group activity, our first role is to identify the individual responsibility, to define the individual responsibility and to identify their accountability. Individuals must know exactly what their responsibilities are and that they are accountable to the group in order to reach their goal. Means here not only the work of leader only, it is the work of every individual in the group. Means to find out their responsibilities and how to get the success or goal. All group members must be involved in order for the group to complete the task. In order for this to occur, each member must have a task that they are responsible for, which can be completed by any other group members. It is says that not only the role of leader is here important, in a group role of every individual is important for completing of a task. So friends, those are about the cooperative learning and collaborative learning. These are some examples. Like first one is think, pair, share. And this think, pair, share is a method. It is originally developed by Frank T. Lehman 1981, and it allows students to contemplate a posed question or problem silently. The student may write down thoughts or simply just brainstorm in his or her head. When prompted, the student pairs off with a peer and discusses his or her ideas, and then listens to the ideas of his or partner. Following pair dialogue, the teacher solicits responses from the whole group. When teachers uses this technique, they don't have to worry about students not volunteering because each student will already have an idea in their heads. Therefore, the teacher can call on anyone and increase discussion productivity. So, think, pair, share is an activity which was developed by T. Lehman, and it is between two pair. Means first we have to make a pair, and we have to prompt the student to pair up, and then the peer will discuss about the ideas and then listen to the others ideas of her partner. Means in a pair there will be a one single person and who have a partner. So it is the process. Then jigsaw. Students are members of two groups, home group and expert group. Means in Jigsaw we have to make two group, home group and expert group. In the heterogeneous home group, students are each assigned a different topic. Means here we have to assign different topic to each student. Once a topic has been identified, students leave the home group and group with the other students with their assigned topic. In the new group, students learn the material together before returning to their home group. Once back in their home group, each student is accountable for teaching his or her assigned topic. What happens here? In Jigsaw method, two groups will be built up. First one is home group and expert group. And what happens? Students are each students have to assign a different topic, and once a topic has been identified, students leave the home group. Who will be in the home group? He or she has to leave the home group and group with the other students with their assigned topic. And in the new group, students learn the material together before returning to their home group. And once back in their home group, each student is accountable for teaching his or her assigned topic. Means let me clear you. इन जिक्सा मेथड क्या होता है, टू ग्रुप टीचर्स बनाते हैं, जैसे कि होम ग्रुप एंड एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप. एंड होम ग्रुप में जो स्टूडेंट होंगे और एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप में जो भी स्टूडेंट होंगे, फर्स्ट हम क्या करेंगे, एक टॉपिक को असाइन करेंगे और डिफरेंट टॉपिक ईच स्टूडेंट को हम असाइन करेंगे. उसके बाद वंस टॉपिक आइडेंटिफाई होने के बाद हम क्या करेंगे, जो बच्चे होम ग्रुप में होंगे और जो बच्चे एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप में होंगे, लेकिन अगर कुछ बच्चे का सपोज एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप में जो टॉपिक है तो होम ग्रुप में भी वो टॉपिक है, वो बच्चा क्या करेगा, होम ग्रुप छोड़ के दूसरे स्टूडेंट के साथ मिलके वो टॉपिक को लर्न करेगा और उसके बाद वो बैक करेगा उसका होम ग्रुप को. एंड उस होम ग्रुप में ही और सी विल बी एबल टू टीच दैट कॉन्सेप्ट. ओके, I hope you clear. So Jigsaw 2, reverse Jigsaw, you can read those things or take note these things. It's not necessary. If you will only write down examples like Jigsaw in exam, it's enough. Inside outside circle. This is a cooperative learning strategy in which students form two concentric circles and take turns or rotation to face new patterns to answer or discuss the teacher's question. This method can be used to gather a variety of information, generate new ideas and solve problems. Means here teacher have to make two circle and students have to turn their or rotate their face towards their new partners and answer or discuss the teacher's question. Teacher will have to ask the questions and students have to give the answer here. Okay, reciprocal teaching by Brown and Palisker, 1982. It pertains to the form of guided cooperative learning that features a collaborative learning setting between learning leaders and listeners, expert scaffolding by an adult teacher, and direct instruction, modeling, and practice in the use of simple strategies that facilitate a dialogue structure. In a model that allows for student pairs to participate in a dialogue about text, partners take turns reading and asking questions of each other, receiving immediate feedback. Means we can say that it is simple discussion where partners and students, they can discuss any kind of concept and they can ask question themselves each other, and they can receive the immediate feedback after asking the question or getting the result. They can get or provide immediate feedback, called reciprocal teaching. Student teams achievement division. Students are placed in a small group or team. The class in its entirety is presented with a lesson and the students are subsequently tested. Individuals are graded on the team's performance. Although the tests are taken individually, students are encouraged to work together to improve the overall performance of the group. Means first we have to divide the groups, then we have to test those groups, and as it is conducted individual test, so individual it will develop a spirit of teamwork, because if they will succeed then individual will succeed, then group will succeed. So the performance of the group depends on the individual performance. Rally table. Rally table is another process of cooperative learning. In this process, the class or the students are divided into groups. This is done to encourage group learning, team building and cooperative learning. It is the written version of Robin table. Okay. TGT, that is team game tournament. Students are placed into small groups to study and prepare for a trivia game. This gives students incentive to learn and have some fun learning the material. This is a group exercise, so not one student is to blame. Okay, so friends, those are some examples. No need to explain much more. Only you can write down the examples like think, pair, share, like star, like jigsaw. It's not mandatory to write the theory. I have written here only for your understanding. So you can write the name also in examination. So basic important between the cooperative and collaborative learning. Difference between cooperative and collaborative learning, that collaborative and cooperative learning, that some believe that collaborative learning is similar to cooperative learning, but actually it's not right. While both models use a division of labor, collaborative learning requires the mutual engagement of all participants and a coordinated effort to solve the problems, whereas cooperative learning requires individual to take responsibility for a specific section and then coordinate their respective parts together. So more important point is difference between cooperative and collaborative learning. Always students are getting confusion here, but it is so easy. So what happens in collaborative learning, like we can say that teamwork, mutual work will be there, but in cooperative learning what happens, individual work, means in a group we have to we can say divide the group to the individuals. We have to give in the work to the individuals, and after their work have been done, they have to share their work. Understood? Means what happens in collaborative learning, in collaborative learning में क्या होता है, collaborative learning में एक ग्रुप होता है और उसमें म्यूचुअल वर्क होता है, उसमें इंडिविजुअल वर्क नहीं है. मतलब जो भी काम करेंगे वो ग्रुप करेंगे और जो भी रिजल्ट आएगा ग्रुप ले आएगा. लेकिन कोऑपरेटिव लर्निंग में क्या होता है, सपोज कोऑपरेटिव लर्निंग से अबाउट सपोज इन ए ग्रुप देयर विल बी 4 स्टूडेंट. सपोज कोऑपरेटिव लर्निंग में क्या होता है, 4 स्टूडेंट है, तो 4 स्टूडेंट एक कॉन्सेप्ट को 4 सब पार्ट में डिवाइड करेंगे और ईच स्टूडेंट को हम एक पार्ट देंगे और उसके बाद ईच स्टूडेंट विल वर्क ऑन दैट पार्ट ओनली. देन आफ्टर वर्क हैज बीन कंप्लीटेड, each student will give their reflection, their result to the group. Then group will discuss, then the we can say common result, they have to come out with their common result. Means shortly if we will say that in collaborative learning there will be teamwork, there will be mutual work, but in cooperative learning more focus will be individual responsibility and individual work. I hope you all are clear about difference between cooperative and collaborative. If you have any doubt, then please ask. I will discuss again with you. So another proposed differentiation is that cooperative learning is typically used for children because it is used to understand the foundations of knowledge, while collaborative learning applies to college and university students. Means where cooperative learning is used to school level, we can say that collaborative learning will be used in the higher study. It is used to teach non-foundations of learning. Another believed difference is that collaborative learning is a philosophy of interaction, whereas cooperative learning is a structure of interaction. Okay. However, many psychologists have defined cooperative learning and collaborative learning similarly. Both are group learning mechanisms for learners to obtain a set of skills or knowledge. Some notable psychologists that use this definition or both collaborative and cooperative learning are Johnson, Salvin, Cooper and more. So friends, basic we get here 3 difference. One is in cooperative learning there will be, we can say that mutual work, but in collaborative learning there will be individual work in a group. And second one, in cooperative learning will be used in school education, but collaborative learning will be used in for higher education or college education. Yes or no? And third is it is a philosophy of interaction, whereas cooperative learning is a structure of interaction. That is enough. So it is the basic difference between collaborative and cooperative learning. Hope you all are clear. If you have any doubt, then please ask me. And thank you, and please like, share and subscribe my channel if you don't. Then, and thank you so much. Have a nice day.